about this on Sunday.
Yeah, Mike said something about that. Yeah, and my roommate actually said something about it too, although I don't listen to my roommate that much.
All right, what's up, everybody? My name's Felix. I am your host for this episode of BASA SHOUTcast. With me today is my right-hand man, the man with the beard, Karpish.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
And today we're going to talk about why we missed making an episode for 2 weeks, where we were, what we have been doing, and what's been happening right now. So first, let's first explain why we missed 2 weeks of episode.
Well, we went to Roundtable. We mentioned a little bit at our last podcast, and it took 2 weeks to recover. No, it was an excellent thing. I mean, we talked to I think there's a couple dozen universities there, and we talked about how we run. Like, it was a whole bunch of student associations, right? So, like, I hanged out with a bunch of VP internals of other schools. I personally mostly hanged out with a lot of Saskatchewan universities and like Western universities. Although there's some in the east that are there, like Bishop University, a smaller university in Quebec was there.
Quanti Polytechnic, we were hanging out with them. Like
Quanti Polytechnic, cool guys. Honestly, the coolest guys you ever meet. Yeah. Like, I talked to Morgan a little bit. Like, she's like, talking about how she was like developing her, student association. It's just very solid.
Very good. So, like, they're the newest member of the Canadian Association of Business Students, which we're also part of. I got to see them get elected during the board of directors meeting. It was really good. It was an amazing experience. Like, I was already pumped up when I got elected for president, and then after Roundtable was just like tripled. What everything I want to do. I think it's like same goes for you guys. Like, I just saw like how passionate you guys are, how many things you want to do as soon as we got back.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. Like, we got so many ideas from CAPS too. Like, and we're probably going to implement a handful of them too. So it's going to be a very good, exciting semester. A couple semesters, definitely. That's
true. Speaking of student extracurricular stuff, a lot of recruitment is going on right now. More importantly, we're recruiting for our executive teams. By the time we're recording this, UWSA is having their elections right now. JDCUS is also recruiting, so it's a very important time if you want to be a big part of the school.
So many things you can do right now. Yeah. I mean, between JC West and voting for UWSA and applying for BASA, so many other things. Before
we move on to our recruitment, I just want to plug JDCUS and UWSA. I think it's very important. Especially, let's start with UWSA. If you really care about University of Winnipeg, I think being apathetic about UWSA is the bad way to do it. If you really want to make a change, go vote, join the board of directors. A lot of positions are running on the posts, which I feel like it's a reflection of people just not caring too much.
I know, yeah. I mean, our a current business economic director, like the guy who's running, it's Ted. He's running unopposed.
Soul of the earth, very good guy.
Very cool guy. Honestly, he's the coolest guy you can ever meet. He's always happy. Always full of energy. Like, I want to know what he eats in the morning. I swear to God, because the leader of black coffee I drink is just not doing it.
It's very rare for me to meet university students that are a morning person, and probably Ted's probably like the handful person I've known it's like happy in the morning.
Morning, afternoon, and night.
I'm miserable in the morning. You don't want to meet me. I had a couple of classes in the morning. That was horrible. I was just sitting there, not doing anything. Also, after UWSA, JDCUS is also very important, very big program in our school. If you want to be a part of something academically competitive, JDCUS is the way to go. Case competitions are kind of like the college basketball of business schools. This is where we show up and show our guns so that we can stack up with everybody else.
Represent and present.
There you go.
Represent.
Okay, so now that we're done with UWC and JDCUS, let's move on to the actually more important recruitment.
The most awesome responsibility that can ever be bestowed onto any business student is the opportunities that BASA has. Straight up, we have so many opportunities now. We have a couple new positions that are new for this year.
I think we should talk about that first.
Yeah, talk about it first, yeah. First, there's Director of Academics and Director of Corporate Social Responsibility. Director of Academics, we want to implement local case competitions. So it's really going to be, presenting within the faculty, getting your practice on, before you go JC West, perhaps.
Yeah.
Very much so. That's another thing we got out of CADS. Almost every university has some sort of local case competition.
JDCS is such a huge leap, especially if you're a first or secondary student. Mm-hmm. And I think BASA should be the one who's promoting better case competitions within our school, so that when we actually send out representatives from our school, they're better equipped, and not just like a lot of when I first started JDCS, a lot of the members were just doing case competition for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of talented people came from JDCS, but I think they would have done a lot better if they had some experience with an actual case competition. Before they went to JDCS.
Yeah, you can actually see what an actual case looks like, how long it is. Some are short and some are 20 pages.
Yeah.
They could get pretty brutal. But it's a lot of numbers and all that. So it really makes you understand what a case competition looks like.
Absolutely. Let's move on to corporate social responsibility.
Corporate social responsibility is it's going to be a very interesting position. You're going to be working with a little bit of everyone. We're going to have a lot of new things planned out for the semester. But basically, it's an evolution from our charity director. You're going to be helping with local sponsors, local communities. We're going to be throwing some events in the coming semesters in which we can help have a strong community impact, which is a really big thing in CABS. You're really helping out outside of the student base that you're protecting and representing. It's a very, very, very solid position. If you want to embrace ambiguity and plan out events with me, Marco, and the other VPs, 100% apply for the position. Very responsible position.
I know, just hearing from what you and other VPs are thinking right now. We have a lot of plans for community outreach. We want to be. Last year's team did a good job expanding internally, and I think for us, our focus right now is expanding externally, making BASA known out there, making sure that everybody, when they look for business students in University of Winnipeg, they think BASA. And exactly. I think if you want to be part of that, the corporate social responsibility is a good place to start. It's fresh. You get to squeeze out your creativity juices, and you get to think critically of what to do.
100%. Well, those are the two new positions. Let's talk about the 5 teams that BASA applies for.
Yeah.
We essentially have 5 teams. We break it down like that. I'm responsible for the communications team. Marco's responsible for corporate relations team. MP, our VP external, she's responsible for the events team and the marketing team. Let's start with the marketing team. Marketing is a very important position. It's responsible for creating, designing, and implementing marketing material for all of our events. I'm currently executive officer of marketing, so I was on the marketing team last year. Essentially, I design all the posters. Most of the posters. Evan Kaminsky is our other director of marketing. He helps me with the designs for other events, the ones that I'm too busy to do, or ones I delegate tasks to. Christine is our social media guru. She does everything online. So if you ever see a Facebook post, Twitter, Instagram, she does all that, and she does a heck of a job.
Speaking of executive officer, can you explain the structure of the different teams? Because there's 2 different types of members in each team.
So there's essentially 2 different kinds of members. There's a director, which is just like any other position, and then there's the executive position, which is more of a managerial position. You delegate tasks, you make sure timelines are met within a reasonable manner, you report to the VPs as far as making sure your tasks are complete. As well, you do the same obligations as the directors as well. It's a very responsible position, very time consuming executive position, but it's very much worth the time. It's a very cool position.
Sounds good. Let's move on to events.
Yeah, so the events team plans out all of our events. They're one of the more, like all of our teams, they're important, but events is super important because that's, how we communicate with everyone. We want events to be fun and fresh. So they're responsible for kind of the designs, how the events look like, booking venues, getting food and drink, and everything.
Without a doubt, they're the biggest team in BASA.
They are the largest.
It's a lot of logistic work. It's a lot of planning. As you said, it's one of the more forward-facing teams, especially when it comes to students. This is how we show that we actually provide services. We provide programs and events that are very useful for our faculty. And the events are a very important part of us fulfilling those responsibilities.
Events team is, not so surprisingly, also the funnest team.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
That's where you usually see the outgoing personalities congregate. It's very necessary because you're not only responsible for planning and actually executing it, you also have a hand in promoting the events that you're heading on. This year, we're thinking of giving the specific director of events specific events to actually lead, of course, with the oversight of executive and the VP of externals. But this year, they're going to have more of a creative leeway to actually make the events more of their own and not just them carrying chairs and buying fruits for the event.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, so let's talk about the corporate relations team now. Another very responsible team. They get the sponsorship dollars flowing through BASA.
It's very important because we do get some support from the faculty, but it's not enough for us to actually give all our events. So most of our budget is coming from our corporate partners.
Yeah, we have tons of sponsors. I think we talked to at least a dozen sponsors, if not more, last year.
Yeah, we're very grateful for our corporate sponsors. They're one of the main reasons why we're able to do this. We're able to provide services like Get a Job Conference, mentorship lunches.
Yeah.
Without them, BASA wouldn't be able to exist.
We have a lot of reoccurring sponsors, and we thank them very much, for supporting us. And the goal of corporate relations is to match relevant sponsors with our students, and as well as maintaining relationships and creating new relationships as well.
Yeah, I know our executive partner, Manitoba Laurie, has been with us for a couple of years now.
Executive partner, I mean, they've been great.
They've been great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been to every, essentially every event. I always see them. Larry is a heck of a man. He's so funny. I always love talking to that guy. Last year was spearheaded by Mike, and now it's spearheaded by Marco, and he's going to be leading the directors of corporate relations. It's a very good position. Let's talk about communications team now. So the marketing team, they market our events, and our communications team, they market BASA. So they help with BASA's Shout magazine. They work on our website. SHOUTcast. And they help out. They're going to help out with the filming and hosting of BASA's SHOUTcast. And as well, they do BASA's Mentorship Lunch, which is how we connect students to corporate sponsors. And they also help with the elections for BASA VPs. They're the more creative ones. We always look for people good in film and Photoshop. Photoshop skills is always looked for at BASA to any degree of expertise. 100%. I mean, if you're good with Photoshop, talk to me. I love it. I'll be leading the communications team.
There we go.
Final team.
Finance. Surprisingly, finance very popular this year.
Very popular. Last year, 8 people applied, as per Dave, our current VP Finance. Already, applications are flowing through, and we have a handful of people interested in that as well. Basically, they're the accountants of our group. They budget events. They look for financial opportunities. Make sure BASA is and BASA is running. With certain restrictions, financial restrictions, and making sure we don't go too crazy with any of our events, right?
They're gatekeepers of our cash. If corporate relations are the team that brings in the money for our event, if events team are the ones who actually spend most of it. Finance is there to make sure that we don't actually blow up our budget, that we run a deficit by the end of the year.
I always tell Dave, he should comp my lunch, and he never does. It's what the hey, man?
I always ask him, is this on the BASA credit card if we go out for drinks?
Yeah.
Always know. One of these days, I'll be able to convince him.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why there isn't a BASA credit card.
Is that all the teams?
Those are all the teams. Those are all the teams we're applying for.
Let's talk about what kind of people we're actually looking for to be part of BASA.
Oh, we're looking for young, forward-looking people looking to make a difference within business students and our faculty, as well as making an impact on University of Winnipeg as a whole. Obviously, we plan a lot of events, so you gotta make sure you're available for those events. As well, we're looking for students of any caliber of expertise, I suppose you could say, or experience. We hire young, old, first years, fourth years. I'm pretty sure every VP now is fourth year students. Yeah. Or Jordan has, I think, one more year after this. Or is this his last year?
I have one more year after this.
Oh, even you? Okay, so maybe not all the VPs.
I have one more year. When did you start school? I started winter 2013.
Oh, man. I started right after... when did I graduate? I started 2012. I'm graduating this year. I have a few classes in the fall, and then I'll essentially be done, and I'll just be hanging around the winter term. So yeah, technically, I guess I could have graduated in the summer, but BASA and all that. So love it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah, I also want to stress the importance of actually joining these kinds of organizations while you're in university. Mm-hmm. It's always very hard. It's always a struggle to find jobs after graduating, especially if all you did during university is actually go to class. I'm not downplaying the importance of actually getting good grades. But it should be a balance of things. Yeah,
it should be a combination of good grades, extracurriculars, volunteering.
Good looks.
BASA's good looks.
Face. I'm just kidding. Good looks.
Word to the wise, BASA is technically a not-for-profit. Yeah. It's, incorporated within Manitoba as a not-for-profit, so it's technically volunteering.
It's a good way to see the inner workings of the corporation. It's very hard to find opportunities like this to actually put in a leadership position in a non-for-profit organization. Usually you have to be way older, much more experienced to actually be part of something this.
Oh yeah, exactly. You can say if you're going for an events position for a different company, you can say I've had experience planning out this event that raised so and so amount of money, and you could go and talk about that. Or I've had accounting experience. I've handled money. It's there's so many things you can see.
And especially if you're a business student, there's over 1,200 business students in University of Winnipeg right now. Mm-hmm. Maybe 300 people graduate every year, and you always have to remember how do you separate yourself from the other 299? Are you going to be the same fresh business student grad as everybody else? No, if you want to be different, you join BASA, you join JDCUS, you join UWSA. You make sure that you have that something in your resume that makes you stand out.
Oh yeah, I know, exactly. And we're the coolest guys you'll ever meet, right? Being part of BASA last year is just the funnest experience, we did so many things. Between Business of Sport or International Students Night or Networking Day, which is honestly the greatest night you can ever go to. That was my favorite event next to Gala.
Yeah, I heard you had a lot of fun during Networking Day.
Oh, just talking to people. I was with Hydro. And such cool people at Hydro. It's just so much fun. We talked about everything. We kept it professional, obviously, but they're human beings. It's such a good experience. And Networking Day and Frosh Week.
It gives you a lot of opportunities to be a part of something bigger. Right now, as president, I'm also board of director of the CABS, the Canadian Association of Business Students. Yeah. And right now I have the opportunity to actually learn from other presidents and you to learn from other VPIs about what they do well, what they don't do well, and it just makes BASA a lot better. It makes our faculty a lot better.
I know. Connection. I feel all warm inside.
I think we're just hitting 20 minutes right now, so I think it's time to close.
Cool. So to apply, you just go to uwbasa.ca/opportunities. There's links on our Facebook. Email me at k.karpish@uwbasa.ca if you want to, more information. But just go straight to our website, uwbasa.ca, and you get all the information you ever need.
You get the application form there, the job descriptions, instructions on how to apply.
Deadline's coming soon. Wednesday at midnight. That would be March 25th.
Yep.
The very last day. So you have a little bit of time to do that.
Yeah. Just apply, even if you don't have a general idea yet of what you want to do.
Yeah, you'll get an interview, you'll see what we're about, and we'll make a fit, right?
Also, if you have questions, you'll feel free to stop by the BASA office. Office hours are 12 to 2 o'clock from Monday to Thursday. Mm-hmm. Nobody's in Bueller on Friday, so.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very.
It's empty.
Yeah.
I don't think there's business classes on Friday.
No, it's not. I think they close it early. Yeah. Okay, that is episode 4 of BASA SHOUTcast. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/UWBASA. You can follow our antics in Twitter and Instagram at UWBASA. And if you're watching this at YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, email us, stop by, add us on Facebook. I don't know.
We want you.
Yeah. And remember, if you want to pass financial accounting, call your left hand debit and right hand credit. See you later.
Goodbye.